Hey there folks, it's Johnny again. Wouldn't you know it, right when I want to go back into making some videos and I'm off work, I get a cold. That's life for you. But at least my ears still kind of work, so let's get back into making some mix review videos. And if you want to send me a mix to review and then send it to johnnymixcrit@gmail.com. You'll find that also in the description. And I would kindly ask you to, for one, not send me mixes that are copyrighted or registered in any way, because then I constantly get claims here on YouTube. It's kind of annoying. And also, please do not send me download links. Especially as I'm looking here in my inbox, one guy sent me a download link via WeTransfer. WeTransfer usually deletes the stuff again after, I don't know, a week or two. And I can't make any promises as to when I'll actually get to review your mix. So WeTransfer might definitely not be the best way to go. So first one is by Melissa Voss. This sounds beautiful. Overall, the guitars are a bit too loud in the mix. The drums and the bass need to come up some more, or vice versa, bring down all the guitars. Let's check that low end. You definitely want to make sure about the bass guitar, that the low end is a bit more evened out, because the really low notes, they really rumble through, whereas higher notes, they are almost lost. So you want to make sure that in that specific frequency range where you have that really strong rumble in the low end, that you really compress that very hard, so that higher notes also still have that kind of chesty push down there. The guitars, especially the rhythm guitars, they could use a little bit less distortion, and they also sound very bright, that upper range. Almost, it's just at the cusp of getting a little bit harsh. So you may want to watch out for that. Also, the drums, there's just a lot of the ride going on, just clicking away. You may want to put in a little bit more variety there in your cymbals. They can really dictate how much energy is in a part. The crash cymbals, they have a lot of energy and really opens up the whole power and the force of a section, whereas the ride is a little bit more subdued. And when you just have that ride going on throughout most of the song, then it doesn't feel like there's much variety. But then also in this section, I'm imagining just having that crash going all the time and kind of has a bit more of a steady energy going on. That ride just kind of sucks it out a little bit. Next one is from Manuel Harlander, so that WeTransfer link still worked. Let's be glad about that. Yeah, first impression, the mix overall sounds pretty neat. Let's check the low end again. That China symbol could come down a little bit in your drum sampler. And perhaps also give it a bit of compression around that 8K, I want to say, 6 to 8K range, because it starts to sound a little bit harsh on the cymbals there. Right on. Yeah, overall, pretty solid. Just the top end starts to sound a little bit harsh, especially in the cymbals. Funnily enough, nowadays I actually low pass the cymbals. Not too drastically, just at around 15K, give or take, you know, with a gentle slope of about -12 dB per octave. And it actually helps to control some harshness up there. I was kind of surprised that that actually worked. I actually got that tip from a video from Mixbus TV. That guy, David Nachi, oh, I love him. You know, all other music YouTubers, or music production YouTubers, they kind of stay in that beginner range of mixing and production. He goes a bit more into detail and actual practical tips for certain problems you might encounter. And I'm learning from him nowadays. So definitely check that out. Okay, another one from Dragtron. He sent me 2 mixes. Let's keep it at 1 mix per video. So next video I'll do the other one. Oh no, wait. You just told me. In the second one, I sent you the wrong mix. So, okay, it's just 1 mix. So let's do this one. So this is a fresher mix of the other mix he sent me before, so I gotta compare. Okay, so the new mix to my ears definitely sounds better. Definitely because it's all a bit brighter, so it sounds a bit more open, a bit clearer. So you say you can't replicate this tone. I'll be honest, I don't know Monument's tone. I don't exactly know what you're going for, but objectively speaking, I think the tone you have going on here sounds really good. Perhaps a little bit harsh on the pick attacks. So you want to make sure that boosting that mid-range and high-end before the amp is not too drastic. Because boosting that top range before the amp, that is when you get that really hard pick attack. So you want to be careful not to go too nasty on that. And also after the amp, you said in one of your other emails that things start to become harsh, and I suppose you rather wanted to have bright instead of harsh. Well, then you gotta make sure that you can make out the specific frequencies that are actually harsh. I made a video on how to actually find resonances in your high gain guitar tones. A quick TLDR, you wanna listen for whistling frequencies that are kind of very static and don't seem to be reacting to what you actually play. So those are definitely resonances you want to take out, or also very static hissing noises, or a scratchy noise, a kind of so you want to make sure that you find that that specific frequency area is really, it's actually rather narrow frequency areas then. For me personally, I often find around 4K there's a kind of spike that I want to turn down with a narrow band or a medium narrow band. Usually, I'm just talking around the whole subject now. Usually you have two aspects to harshness. Either you have whistling frequencies that are very specific, very narrow frequency bands that you can turn down a couple of dB. And for that, I usually go with a Q factor of 10 or above. And you can have these harsh, constant, like I said, these shh noises. Those can be a little bit wider frequency ranges. Then I usually use a Q factor of about 2 to 4, depending on how wide that area really is. And you just gotta train your ears to really make those out. There is no special trick or anything that will help you. You need to have the proper ear training to really listen for these harsh frequencies and these harsh frequency areas, and then pinpoint them with sweeping EQ band technique, and then cut those out, but also don't cut them out too much. When you cut those frequencies too much, then you will kill your tone. It will start to sound kind of like it has phase issues, and you can lose a lot of liveliness in the tone. So just cut them out enough that they're not a problem anymore, but not beyond that. Man, stupid hair, stop it. You also say you still have the stock strings on your guitar, and they're just 3 months old. So I guess you also got the guitar about 3 months ago. Congratulations. Getting a new guitar is always a fun thing to experience, and I'm also currently saving up money for a new guitar. I already gave her a name. She's gonna be called Margaret. And you'll love her. You may actually want to switch out your strings, because I don't know what kind of strings are on that guitar stock. Usually Diodario, they sound very great. I personally go for Elixir right now. They also sound just as great, perhaps a little bit less sparkly in the top end, but overall still amazing in my opinion, and they last you a very long time. Almost too long. Kind of reduces the frequency with which you actually maintain your guitar and clean it up. Actually, my guitars would need a clean up again and some new strings. Oh well. But yeah, I've just been talking about the guitar tone right now. So again, basically, to me, objectively speaking, it sounds great. Just watch out for those harsh frequencies in the top end and don't go too crazy on it. You want to find a balance. And usually when you work on a mix for too long, then you completely lose your objectivity and you won't be able to find that balance. The longer you listen to your own material, the more problems you will hear. And those problems might not actually be problems. Now let's check out the rest of the mix. It still sounds like there's some kind of harsh cutoff, almost like a brick wall low pass filter at a higher frequency. I don't know if that's because of the compression or whatever is going on here. I usually never really encountered that problem when I just upload my music to whatever platform. Not sure what's going on there. Let's check the low end. I haven't done that yet. Low end is important. It's all about the bass. Oh yeah, that low end on the bass is kind of a little bit all over the place. Again, compressing that low end on the bass is... I'm spitting everywhere. Compressing low end on the bass is pretty important in metal. You really want to have a steady low end so all the notes are also clearly audible. Some notes, I noticed, they kind of fall away. The way I usually do it is splitting the bass into 2 tracks, one for the low end, one for the grit. And on the low end track, I just high pass everything, low pass everything at 200 Hertz. And then I compress the living you know what out of it. And on the grit channel, I high pass them to 200 Hertz. So both are actually high pass and low pass at the same range. And yeah, then you will have a steady low end and you won't have any problems. Okay, that's it again for this one. No more mixes in here. Again, if you want to have your mix reviewed or critiqued or destroyed, whatever you like, whatever you're into, you do you. Then send it to johnnymixcrit@gmail.com. Also, my advice is don't try too hard to nail a specific tone from a specific band. Usually that doesn't go too well, in my experience. Try to get close to it, and then just be happy with what you got, and you'll notice people usually don't care too much. The music itself is more important than the production value. Of course, the production value is also very important, but not as important. So set your priorities appropriately. I myself, right now, with my new mix, I'm trying to nail a specific tone, but I notice sometimes I gotta take a step back and take it a little bit easy. What I got going right now, I know this is actually pretty good enough, and I didn't actually have to do too much. So, I shall see you then in the next video, and we will see what that will be about. Hopefully there will be more mixes coming in to keep the series going. I had this other idea of making reaction videos to YouTube guitar lessons. And then I noticed that may actually be a pretty bad idea. I actually made a video about it, and I noticed these YouTube guitar lessons, these are all great people. They do a decent job for what's actually able to be taught, and the way is you're able to teach playing an instrument via YouTube videos. So critiquing that may actually be a kind of bad move. So I'm not actually doing that. You know what I gotta do? I gotta react to my old mixing tutorial videos and just bash myself. Oh, that is gonna be awkward. That is so gonna be awkward. I mean, I'm already awkward as it is. I notice that every time I edit my videos, you know how they say content is king? Well, yeah, but also no. Content may be king, but personality is definitely queen, and my personality is and then watching one of my own videos, being as I am, yeah, it's gonna be bad. So, I will see you when that happens. Have a good one.